You've felt it, haven't you? The tension, the pressure, as if everything you've worked for is suddenly under attack. Your enemies may think they have the upper hand, but they're about to face something they never expected. A brutal awakening. This awakening isn't something you can control, nor can they hide from it. It's a force that's sweeping through their lives right now, whether they're ready for it or not. What they don't realize is that the very things they've done to harm you, the schemes they've plotted, the hurt they've caused, it's all about to come back to them in a way they never saw coming. It's like a mirror they can't escape. You may not even have to do anything for this change to happen. Their own actions, their own energy, is pulling them into this truth. This awakening will be uncomfortable, maybe even brutal, but it's necessary for them to grow. The universe has a way of balancing things out, and this time it's not your fault. They're the ones who have created this storm. As the chosen one, your path has led you to a place where you no longer need to fight back. The universe is doing the work for you. Your enemies may be looking at their lives right now, feeling confused, disoriented, and unable to understand why everything is falling apart. They are waking up, but it's not going to be easy for them. The truth is painful, and this truth is hitting them harder than they could ever imagine. They're about to feel the consequences of their actions, and trust me, it's going to be the hardest lesson they've ever learned. But while they're waking up to the harsh truth, you're moving forward. Your journey is one of self-discovery, growth, and spiritual elevation. The more you focus on your own path, the stronger your energy becomes, and the stronger their awakening will be. It's a spiritual law. What you put out, you get back. The moment they try to tear you down, the universe begins its own work of lifting them up to face themselves. They can no longer hide from their own reality. This isn't just any awakening. It's a brutal one, because it forces them to confront themselves. It's time to let go of any notion that you need to do something to fix the situation. The universe has already set things in motion. Their awakening is already underway, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. If your enemies don't face this awakening, if they refuse to accept the truth about their actions, there are serious consequences. You see, spiritual awakening isn't just about a new mindset or a fresh start. It's about accepting responsibility for what you've done, the harm you've caused, and the choices you've made. If they continue to ignore this powerful call to change, their lives will spiral out of control in ways they can't even imagine. Without awakening, their actions will continue to haunt them. The negativity they've sent out into the world will circle back to them. It's like planting seeds in the wrong soil. Nothing good can grow from them. They might experience temporary victories or success, but deep down they'll be trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage. They won't be able to find peace because their inner world is disordered. The harsh truth is, until they face themselves, they'll continue to live in chaos. This isn't just about the immediate effects. Their failure to embrace this awakening will affect their future, their relationships, and their sense of self-worth. They'll keep running into situations that force them to confront their own failures, but they'll continue to resist. They'll see the world around them crumble as their attempts to manipulate and control others become more futile. The universe doesn't allow this kind of energy to thrive for long. It eventually breaks down everything that is out of alignment. The universe doesn't care about their excuses. It doesn't matter if they're justified in their actions. What matters is that they have hurt others, and now they must learn from it. But if they refuse to learn, they will suffer. They will stay stuck in a cycle of negativity, constantly blaming others for their problems. Their awakening is coming, but if they resist, it will be brutal. As their world unravels, they'll look for answers, trying to figure out what went wrong. They might even turn to others for help, but until they are ready to face their own truth, nothing will change. They can't run away from the reality they've created. The longer they resist, the harder the lesson will be. And when that lesson finally hits, it will feel like an explosion. They won't be able to escape the pain they've caused others, and they won't be able to escape the truth of who they've become. For them, this awakening is an opportunity for growth, but only if they are willing to face it. If they refuse, they will continue to suffer the consequences of their choices. their world will continue to fall apart, and they'll have no one to blame but themselves. Spiritual awakening is a process that forces individuals to confront themselves and their lives. It's a moment of clarity, where everything you thought you knew is challenged, and your world begins to shift. It's not something that can be forced, nor is it something that happens overnight. For your enemies, this awakening is happening now, and it's not pretty, but it's not just about them. This awakening is a universal experience. We all go through it at different points in our lives. It's a moment of truth, a moment where you begin to realize the patterns in your life, the choices you've made, and the impact you've had on others. It's a wake-up call that forces you to look at yourself in the mirror and question everything. For those who have wronged others, like your enemies, this awakening is often difficult. It doesn't come gently. The truth hits hard, and it forces them to look at the impact of their actions on the people around them. For them, it's a moment of reckoning. They have to face the pain they've caused, the lies they've told, and the harm they've done. For you, as the chosen one, this awakening is part of your spiritual journey. You've been called to a higher level of awareness, a level where you no longer need to fight back. The universe has already set things in motion for your enemies. All you have to do is continue on your path of growth and let the process unfold. This spiritual awakening doesn't just affect your enemies, it also affects you. As you evolve and grow, you become more aligned with your true purpose. Your energy shifts and the way you see the world changes. You start to understand that everything happening around you is connected to your own internal growth. As you rise, others are forced to rise with you, even if it's painful for them. This is the nature of spiritual awakening. It lifts everyone, whether they're ready or not. You don't need to seek revenge or try to manipulate the situation. The universe is already doing the heavy lifting. The more you focus on your own spiritual growth, the more your enemies will feel the weight of their own awakening. And the more they resist, the more brutal the lesson will be. Spiritual awakening is a powerful force, and it's happening to everyone, including your enemies. Here it's not about what they did to you, it's about their journey and the lesson they must learn. The universe is setting the stage for their awakening, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. The truth will come for them, and it will be more than they can handle. Your enemies don't realize it, but everything they've done to you is coming back to them. The very actions they took to bring you down, the negative energy they sent your way, it's all part of a process that they can't avoid. They might think they've gotten away with it, but the universe has a way of making sure everyone gets exactly what they deserve. And for them, this brutal awakening is their consequence. But why are they experiencing this awakening in such a painful way? The answer is simple. They have ignored the inner truth for so long that the only way for them to wake up is through intense discomfort. Spiritual growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when we face our darkest fears, our most difficult challenges. Their awakening is the result of their own choices. Every lie, every manipulation, every time they tried to hurt you or others, it's all created a debt they now have to pay. This is the law of the universe. What you put out into the world comes back to you. The negativity they've created is now returning to them, and it's hitting them harder than they could ever have imagined. They might resist the truth at first, fighting against it or trying to ignore it, but it won't go away. The more they avoid it, the more intense their awakening will become. It's like a pressure building up inside them, pushing them toward the truth they've been running from, and when they finally reach the breaking point, they won't be able to escape it. They'll have to face everything they've done, every hurt, every betrayal, and there's no running from that. It's a tough process, but it's necessary for their growth. If they are ever going to change, they must go through this painful realization. Without it, they'll stay stuck in their destructive patterns, never truly understanding the impact of their actions. This brutal awakening is the universe's way of shaking them awake, forcing them to confront themselves and their past choices. They have to learn to face the consequences of their actions, and only then can they begin to grow. For you, this should bring comfort. You don't need to take matters into your own hands. The universe is doing all the work for you. Your enemies are experiencing their own spiritual journey, and this is their lesson to learn. Let them face it. Don't interfere. The brutal awakening they are going through is exactly what they need to realize the harm they've caused. You are simply a witness to the unfolding of their transformation. The way you carry yourself, the energy you radiate, plays a powerful role in your enemy's awakening. You might not realize it, but as you grow spiritually and rise above their negativity, you are directly influencing their experience. Your energy serves as a mirror for them, a reflection of what's possible, what's at stake, and what they have to confront. When you walk in alignment with your true self, when you choose peace over conflict, love over hate, your energy creates a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. For your enemies, your growth is a challenge. They may not even consciously recognize it, but deep down they feel it. They see you thriving, moving forward, and it forces them to ask questions. Why aren't they succeeding? Why does it seem like everything is falling apart for them while you continue to rise? Your energy doesn't need to directly confront them. You don't need to say anything, do anything, or call them out. Your very presence, your calm, confident, and positive energy, is enough to trigger their awakening. It's like a light shining in the darkness, forcing them to face the shadows they've been hiding from. The universe works through your energy, sending a message to them that they can no longer avoid. The more you align with your higher purpose, the more your enemies will feel the discomfort of their own resistance. As they watch you change, they're forced to see the contrast between who they are and who they could be. It's not about competing with them, it's about showing them that there's a different way. Your inner strength and growth serve as a silent yet powerful reminder that they have the power to change too. But this is where their free will comes in. They have the choice to either embrace their awakening or resist it. If they choose resistance, the awakening will only grow more painful. But if they choose to embrace the transformation, they can break free from their past and start a new path. It's a choice that they alone must make, but your energy, your light, plays an undeniable part in helping them see the way. Your journey is one of spiritual growth and peace, and as you walk this path, your enemies will be forced to reckon with their own choices. Your energy will continue to push them toward the truth, whether they like it or not. And in time, they will either transform or be left behind, stuck in their own misery, never able to fully escape the consequences of their actions. You may not always see the signs clearly, but trust that they are there. Your enemies are waking up, and while they may not show it outwardly, the process is happening. The universe doesn't always make it obvious, but when you know what to look for, you can start to see the shifts in their behavior. One of the first signs is confusion. They may seem lost or uncertain, like their world is falling apart. It's as if they're suddenly unable to find the answers they've been looking for. The things that once worked for them, manipulation, control, lies, aren't working anymore. They're feeling the consequences of their past actions, and it's causing a deep inner conflict. They don't know how to fix things, and it's unsettling for them. Another sign is defensiveness. As they go through this awakening, they'll likely lash out, projecting their anger or frustration onto others. This is a typical response when people are faced with uncomfortable truths about themselves. Instead of owning up to their actions, they'll try to deflect, blame others, or act like everything is fine. But deep down, they know something isn't. Right? Their soul is calling them to change, and they're resisting it. There's also the feeling of isolation. As their awakening intensifies, they may begin to withdraw from the people around them. They'll feel like no one understands them, and they'll struggle to connect with others. This is a result of their inner turmoil, the emotional chaos that comes with confronting the truth. They may start to alienate themselves from friends, family, and even their own support systems, because they're facing the consequences of their own actions. Finally, one of the most significant signs is a sudden desire for change. At some point after the storm has passed, they may begin to question their past decisions. They might start to look for ways to improve themselves or make amends for the harm they've caused. This is when the awakening begins to shift from painful realization to potential transformation. They may not know how to change yet, but the seed has been planted. They are starting to see the world differently. As the chosen one, you don't need to intervene. This is their journey, and it will unfold as it should. Your role is simply to witness their process, knowing that the awakening they are going through is part of their spiritual evolution. The signs are there, and they'll become clearer as their transformation continues. You don't have to fix them, change them, or convince them to wake up. The universe is already working its magic. The brutal awakening your enemies are experiencing isn't just a temporary phase. It's a life-changing process that will alter the course of their lives forever. It may seem harsh, but this is what they need to truly grow. The transformation they're going through will force them to look at themselves in ways they've never had to before. They will no longer be able to avoid the truth of their actions and the impact they've had on others. This awakening doesn't just change their behavior, it changes the very core of who they are. For those who resist it, it will lead to more pain and confusion. But for those who embrace it, it will be a powerful opportunity to reshape their lives. They will be forced to confront their beliefs, their identity, and the way they've treated others. This is the painful but necessary process of self-realization. Their relationships will begin to shift as well. People who have been around them for years may start to notice the changes, and some of those relationships might fall apart. Friends and family who have enabled their bad behavior may no longer support them. But this is part of the awakening. They need to let go of the toxic relationships that have been holding them back. This moment of clarity may be the very thing they need to break free from the patterns that have kept them stuck in the past. Professionally, they may also experience significant shifts. The things that once brought them success may begin to slip away, and they'll find themselves in situations that force them to question their career choices and goals. This isn't a punishment, it's a chance for them to realign with a more authentic version of themselves. The brutal awakening may seem like a setback, but it's actually preparing them for a future where they can find true fulfillment, but only if they are willing to change. This change won't happen overnight. It will be slow, and it will require them to do the inner work to heal the wounds they've been running from. But it is possible. They can evolve into better versions of themselves, ones who are capable of empathy, love, and understanding. However, it all depends on whether they are willing to do the work. If they resist, they will remain trapped in a cycle of negativity. But if they accept the awakening and allow themselves to grow, their lives can change in ways they never thought possible. For you, witnessing this transformation should bring peace. You don't need to interfere. The awakening is their journey to walk. You've already done your part by focusing on your own growth and energy. The universe has set everything in motion, and now it's up to them to decide how they want to proceed. As the chosen one, you may feel the urge to guide others through their awakening, especially those who have wronged you. But it's important to remember that your role isn't to fix them or lead them through the process. The universe is already guiding them on their path. Your job is to focus on your own growth and let them experience their awakening in their own way. You are not here to rescue anyone. The most powerful thing you can do for others is to lead by example. By continuing your own spiritual journey, by staying grounded and focused on your purpose, you give them the opportunity to see what is possible for themselves. Your light shines in a way that can influence them, but only if they're ready to embrace it. Your enemies might resist their awakening, and they might even lash out. It's easy to feel the need to protect yourself or to try to change their behavior. But the truth is, the more you focus on your own growth, the less their negativity will affect you. You don't need to engage with them or confront them. Their journey is their own, and your energy is the best guidance they could receive. There is a subtle power in choosing not to react. By allowing them to go through their awakening without interference, you are teaching them the greatest lesson of all, that true change comes from within. You don't need to fix them, and you certainly don't need to fix the situation. Everything is already in motion, and they will either rise or remain stuck, depending on their willingness to embrace the truth. Trust that your role as a guide is to continue being the best version of yourself. As you rise spiritually, others will be inspired to do the same. You don't need to force change on anyone. The universe will handle it in its own time, and when they are ready, they will begin their journey toward healing and transformation. one of the most difficult aspects of witnessing someone's awakening, especially when that person has wronged you, is the temptation to control the process. You might feel that you need to step in, offer advice, or take matters into your own hands to ensure they change. But the most powerful thing you can do in this situation is to let go. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you're abandoning the situation. It means trusting that the universe has a plan for everyone, and that their journey is not yours to control. The more you try to manipulate the situation, the more you'll get caught in their energy, and you might even delay their awakening. Instead, focus on your own healing and growth. The more you align with your higher purpose, the more their transformation will naturally unfold. Letting go also means releasing any expectations you have about how this process should go. You might want your enemies to change quickly, to feel the pain of their actions immediately, or to come to you for forgiveness, but you can't control how or when that will happen. All you can do is continue on your own path and trust that the universe will take care of the rest. This doesn't mean you should allow yourself to be mistreated or abused in any way. Letting go is not about tolerating harmful behavior. It's about releasing the need for revenge or control. When you let go of the need to change someone else, you free yourself from the emotional burden of that situation. You can focus on your own journey, knowing that everything will fall into place as it's meant to. The more you let go, the more you allow space for your enemy's awakening to happen naturally. They will either choose to embrace the change or resist it, but it's no longer your responsibility. Your path is to continue rising, focusing on your own growth, and trusting that their process is unfolding exactly as it should. The process of spiritual awakening is a powerful force, and your enemies are no exception. They are going through a brutal awakening right now, forced to face the truth of their actions and the consequences of their behavior. As you continue to walk your own spiritual path, trust that the universe is working to balance everything out. Your role is not to intervene or control their journey. It is to focus on your own growth, to rise spiritually, and to let go of the need for anything in return. Your energy, your light, serves as a guide for those around you, even if they don't yet realize it. Know that this awakening, while difficult for them, is ultimately an opportunity for growth. It will transform their lives, but only if they are willing to face the truth. And as the chosen one, you are free to continue your journey with peace, knowing that the universe is taking care of the rest.